When reading articles about the gallery, I kept reading about how olfactory art is used in a way to critique art and fragrance traditions. And I found this, especially as someone who's very interested in art history and museums, that this was very interesting to me. So we know that the art and the fragrance industry can be very traditional. So can you comment on this about your gallery and explain if this is something you aimed for when you opened the gallery?
Yes, I did aim for that, especially on the side of the fragrance industry. So fragrance, until very recently, was a very elite endeavor, and people, there were 2 or 3 schools for perfumers that were acceptable for you to go to and learn your craft, and only then would you be considered a perfumer and allowed to start creating scents creatively. And so I think of the gallery on that aspect kind of like as a punk rock, do-it-yourself kind of counterpoint to that, everybody can buy a set of 20 essential oils and start mixing them together. And if something interesting comes out of it, I'll show it in the gallery. I have no regard for the formal training that person had in mixing together the smells. And what comes with that is also the whole set of rules and cultural constraints in which perfumery lives, like how you're supposed to create a perfume. And people who don't know those rules, of course, don't know they're breaking them, so they just make something that's outside of that and that will be new and interesting. And so I'm trying to have lesser focus on the knowledge and the skill of the creator and more of the output and how interesting it is. So that's the relation to the fragrance world.
Yeah, because it's a very, very traditional one.
Very traditional. Until like 30 years ago, it was all men from France. Like every perfumer that made a perfume until the 70s was a man from France. And even within France, you would get discriminated against if you weren't like from the right part of the country and so on. So a very, very insular and protective community and whatever. And now it's been opening up. There's, that it has nothing to do with the gallery, but it has to do with how it got much easier to cheaply get small amounts of odor molecules, so you could start mixing them together. The entry barrier used to be very big, like nobody could afford to have in their basement enough smells to mix things. So you needed access to a company that had such a collection to even be able to start mixing odor molecules. Now you can buy a beginner set that is reasonable for a few $100s, and then you can spend as much time as you like mixing odor molecules. So that was really the big shift that happened there, and I'm just trying to further encourage that and push that.
And there are also a lot of places where you can access information that helps you create perfumes or make smell creations. This degree of accessibility of that information has also grown, also with places like the Institute of Art and Olfaction, who offer classes.
Exactly. So the Institute of Art and Olfaction in LA is a very great resource. They're online and they have courses that teach people how to start mixing together smells. And none of these things were available until recently. And like the recipes for perfumes were like guarded secrets that like nobody could know. Now you can just Google it and you know it and you mix it and you understand it. So it becomes much more open very quickly, and I'm proud to be part of that movement.